Hello everybody, Rudy Fruity here, coming at you with a Tekken 8 guide, the only Tekken 8 guide you're ever going to need. I know the tutorial and the sort of story system in this game really teaches you a lot of stuff already, but in case you don't want to deal with any of that and you just want to jump straight into rank, but you keep on getting clobbered and you're wondering why, here's some tips to maybe figure out what some of your problems are. Okay, first thing you got to know to apply in your matches is the one jab. One jab. Every character has this, and the 1-2 jab. This is the fastest move in the game. It's 10 frames, and yeah, it's the baseline of your offense. If you don't think it's that important, maybe look to the fact that both high level Tekken players like what's her name, Yuzu, is that her name? I'm sorry, correct name on the screen. JDCR made videos emphasizing the one jab, and then also Nee has a highlight of his stream where he beat high ranked Tekken players with just the 1-2 jab. Okay, so it's a very important tool. Just understanding that this is the fastest move in the game, and understanding the frame data. You know, if it hits, you get +8. Probably equally as important is the crouching one jab. Your +6 is 10 frames. You're in good advantage for that. And you're probably thinking, what the heck are the plus frames for? Okay, here's how I'm going to demonstrate the importance of frame data. Okay, I'm going to do the 1-2 jab and it's going to get blocked. Okay, if you saw for a split moment there, I was at -3. Really play that back. I'm at -3 because my 1-2 jab got blocked. Generally, most moves are minus on block. So if you're wondering when is it your time to take your turn, usually it's after a block. There are exceptions though, like this move. See, that's +4 on block. And if I were to do like follow this up with this, that's a counter hit move. Kazuya would get blown up if he tried anything after that. Okay, so that just understanding frame advantage in that basic level is important. The practice mode for Tekken 8 comes with an outstanding punishment training section where you can punish specific moves from specific characters. See, this is showing me that Kazuya's 1-1-2 jab is -17 on block. That means if I block this, bam, he's getting launched and he's eating a full combo. Now, yes, the combo isn't optimized, but you get the point. So understanding that is very important. Frame data is super important, but even you don't have to get too deep into it, but you just know it at a very basic like kindergarten math level. Do kindergartens even learn math? Probably. Anyways, one thing to also emphasize in this video, I want to show you this one. Wait. Oh, I could just focus on one. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to teach you about the Rao Rising stance. You may notice that, you know, you may be just doing some wild move, like some random move, and you're like, how do I do this? I'm doing this, but I can't get this to come out. Well, here's the reason why. Is because while you're between ducking and standing, there was a stance we call Rao standing. In Tekken notation, we usually don't call it Rao rising. We call it Rao standing because there was another notation called Rao running, which is WR. So we don't want to have two WRs. So if you look up combos online, you're going to see Rao S for Rao standing. Okay. But yeah, while standing is that in between stage between standing and ducking. And you have to sort of practice this, okay? Letting go of the stick, and within that animation, hitting a button. It's like letting go of down. Right after letting go of down, you hit a button. And that's how you get your Rao standing move. In the tutorial space here, the tutorial and the information they provide for you, we'll call it Rao Rising, but if you were to look at the community's notation, we call it Rao Standing. Okay, So while standing is very important for blocking the really devastating lows like Kazuya's Hell Sweep. See, look at that. See how he sort of has that big animation to kind of show you that this is punishable? That's a big notifier with any character that has a big low, that when you block that, you're gonna want to hit your launch punish and then do a nice big combo, you know. And you know, that was of course a baby combo, but that's not the point of this video. Okay, another thing to kind of emphasize for beginners: when you're starting out, don't sweat learning the biggest optimized combo. I'm starting to approach the green ranks, and I am noticing that there are still a lot of players who really just are kind of gimmicky. They just sort of learn a string or two and they try to like get away with that, but that will only get you so far. Learning the fundamentals of the game will get you much further. Another thing I want to emphasize for newcomers is minimizing your toolkit. Okay, so you may get overwhelmed when you look at the move list, and the amazing thing that Tekken 8 does specifically is they condense it for you. They show you the main moves, the main techniques of your character that you're trying to learn. They have it organized right off the bat to main techniques, and then a tab over all techniques. And they have an incredible description of what each move does and how to utilize them. So make sure to utilize that. For this video though, I want to emphasize though to minimize your decision making. Okay, when you go into training mode and you see all these moves, Claudio's a very simple character compared to the rest of the roster, and he has 77 entries in his techniques, in his move list. Okay, that could be really daunting, but really I would, because the game is still early, but players are really smart. There are a lot of high level players who can tell you, like, just by testing out characters, like, oh, this move is really good, and you know, they'll be kind of accepted that, yeah, their opinion is pretty correct. You know, while you look through this move, also look to the community of the players of the character you are learning. You know, don't stress out and do the hard work yourself of figuring out what moves are the best. Other people have already done that for you, you know. And now you can have an easier time just applying it to your game plan. And then the other hard work comes in when it comes to utilizing it in a match, you know. But generally, if you're playing against players who are not aware of this, you'll get the upper hand. Okay, but yeah, so to sort of give an example with Claudio's running 2. My Korean backdashes suck donkey whatever. Okay, super crucial to his game plan. You know, it's plus on block, it's a heat engager on hit. Also, I gotta give a shout out that they made instant RAL running moves much easier to do in this game, which is pretty dope. I was always asked at that in Tekken 7. But yeah, so it's a heat engager. It's so good. So yeah, that's when I play Claudio, I'm thinking of all the opportunities I can use RAL running 2. And I'm also thinking of all the ways my opponent can interact with RAL running 2. Because a really common way to deal with RAL running 2 is ducking, because it's a high. So what do I do to counteract their counter? Well, forward 4 is a mid. Now, it's not nearly as strong on its own in Tekken 8 as it was in 7. Because it doesn't knock down anymore, but on counter hit, it could hit confirm into a heat engager, which is very important. But yeah, so if they try to duck my RAL running 2, I can hit him with this mid, and you know, hit him with that. So just thinking about your key moves and how your opponents interact with them to find ways around the way they might interact with them is important to, you know, just climbing up the ladder, so to say. Okay, another thing that is very specific to Tekken 8, of course, is the heat system. I just barely picked up this game for like 5 hours. I'm still getting a grasp on the heat system, but just going into ranked for a little bit, I could really see how important the heat system is in understanding it. Understanding what moves are plus out of heat, what moves are minus, if any, and how to utilize your heat smash, because you want to cash out. You only, because you know you got your heat initiator. You are in heat, you are ready to go, and you do your heat smash. No matter how much heat you have, it uses up all the heat, okay? So you don't, an effective way to use your heat is to just do the heat smash, okay? So one thing I kind of figured out to be a more effective way to utilize heat, that heat smash initiator is actually pretty effective. Like it has armor. How fast is it actually? 16 frames. Okay, I think it's mid armor. It's once you press it, it's very hard to interrupt it. But like finding out what moves your character can like heat dash out of is very important. By the way, game theory here, Claudio is the very reason why we have the heat system. His rage drive in Tekken 7 was pretty much the heat dash. So they're like, why don't we just give every single character a heat dash? That would be sick. And they're right. Anyways, yeah. Another thing, this probably should have gone in the frame data section, is utilizing your counter hits. Okay, how a counter hit works is that within the startup of your character doing a move, you see how it has attack startup frames at the bottom there. Within those 10 frames, your character is vulnerable to getting counter hit. If the opponent hits you any other way, like if the opponent hits you within those 10 frames, or any frames of your startup of whatever move you're using, you'll get counter hit. Depending on the move they use to hit you, they could get a combo. Okay, so an example of this, by the way, to always get a counter hit, key charge. Key charge enables counter hits for both you and your opponent. So whatever attack lands is going to be a counter hit. Okay, so if Claudio lands the down forward 2, oops, my thing fell off. Yeah, I'm gonna get a counter hit launcher, which by the way, that is also a launch, that very slow fall. Yeah, and understanding your counter hits and what moves give you a combo will also put you over the edge of a lot of players in those lower ranks. Okay, one last thing to round out the video: how to break throws. You break throws by pressing either the 1 or 2 buttons, which are your arm buttons, right? So when an opponent does a 1+3 grab, it looks like this, right? You can see in the animation, the left arm is a bit more forward than the other arm. That means you're gonna press the 1 to break it. Now vice versa, if I press the 2+4 grab, you can see that you would press the 2 to break it. Okay, it's super difficult to do. This is something that's been in Tekken for many years. But thankfully, you know, they haven't changed it at least. And yeah, so like even with command grabs, like this one, see how the 1 grab is the one arm, the left arm, is a bit more forward than the other. So to break the command grab, you would just hit 1. Otherwise, you're taking that. Okay, that's another thing I can think of. Other than that, I think that should help you get through that should help you at least get through the green ranks, okay? If you have really specific questions about like, how do I deal with this string? What do I do when Law does whatever? Kazuya does whatever. I get blown up by that. The best thing I could tell you though is to go into training mode and practice the very thing that's giving you trouble. That's the best way you could learn, really. And learning how to do that yourself will take you much further than just keeping on asking people like me. Okay? But if you have any other good questions that I might be able to answer, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I do a variety of content on this channel, but I love Tekken, so for the next couple months at least, as long as I have my buddy's PS5 that he's lending me, I will be doing Tekken 8 content for sure. So yeah, but thank you very much for watching. I hope this guide helps out any new fledgling Tekken players. And yeah, again, any questions, let me know. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.